Resident Evil Village is out now, and the reviews have been exceptional. Truth be told, this entry to the franchise adds so much to the series. While it's a continuation of the 7th game, it also takes the best from the past and applies them here. This might allow the game to rank highest on the list of best-selling Resident Evil games of all time. We'll just have to wait to find out. But what makes this game excellent, anyway? While there are many things that we liked about the game, we think these 5 new features and changes made the most impact. Resident Evil Village has better combat because Ethan finally received combat training. One of the most noticeable changes you'd notice when you play as Ethan again is how differently he plays now. He moves faster, can shoot better, and can even fight back better. The blocking system from RE7 returns, but now Ethan can even push enemies back after making a well-timed parry. He's also learned how to use new weapons, giving combat a much-needed refresh. Of course, these weapons you can buy from the Duke's Emporium, which, by the way, almost made this list. He's a much more interesting version of the Merchant from Resident Evil 4. And unlike the Merchant, the Duke actually matters in the game's story. Speaking of the Duke's Emporium and combat, Ethan's military training also taught him new survival techniques. Because of his training, he now knows how to identify valuable resources he can harvest from animals he hunts. He can take these to the Duke and trade them in for nutritious meals that can improve his stats permanently. They work kind of like the injections you use in RE7, but now presented as a better designed mechanic. RE4's Tetris inventory system is back, and we're loving it. RE4's Tetris inventory system is back. The producers said from previous live streams that Resident Evil Village will have an inventory system that works similar to the RE2 and RE3 remakes. However, it turns out that the inventory system in Village works much close to RE4's. The initial inventory space is very wide and spacious, and it can also be expanded over time. Resident Evil games have always had inventory management as a core aspect of their gameplay. However, going back to this rarely used system is a great move by Capcom. It's not only a great mechanic, but it also adds to the immersion and realism of the game. However, there seems to be a bug right now where you can't swap the weapons places in the briefcase. This inventory bug in Resident Evil Village seems to be something you'll have to work around for now until an update rolls out to fix this. Lots of new, varied enemy types keep the game from being stale. One of the main complaints people had from Resident Evil 7 is that it didn't really have great enemies. The Baker family sure was a fun antagonist to work against. But the molded didn't really make for a memorable enemy type. Thankfully, Resident Evil Village introduces new enemies, and there are a lot of them.